for Local 12 and Star 64 and running Cincinnati Refined. And then I helped my husband launch a business and foundation called PS Never Give Up. And so that's kind of how things have transformed through the years, but it's pretty exciting.
Awesome. Next, we have Taryn.
Hi, I'm Taryn Kennebrew, and I have been in business, since 2009. And I started Sweet Petite Desserts in 2009, which is a dessert shop, and started this coffee shop that we're sitting in back in June. So we're here at Cream and Sugar Coffee House. Everything's going great. Can't believe I started a business in the middle of a pandemic, but we're here and it's thriving.
All right. Next, we have Kenny.
I'm Kenny Wilson. I have a wealth management company called Wilson Financial. I've been in business almost 10 years now. And I was a finance executive with Procter & Gamble for 20 plus years. I was a Chick-fil-A franchisee. I had 2 Chick-fil-A restaurants. I had one in the Dayton Mall, and I built the Chick-fil-A restaurant on the west side of Cincinnati, and did that for a while, divested, discovered that the fast food restaurant industry wasn't for me, and really just stumbled into financial services and wealth management, and have become one of the top financial advisors in the world, as designated by an organization called $1 Million Roundtable, that determines the top 2% of all financial advisors in the world. I've made that 7 years in a row, and I've got 2 offices, 7 employees, and my passion is to break the generational curses of poverty, help people build legacies and build wealth, protect themselves, their assets, their families, and comfortably retire.
Absolutely. So y'all see we brought some veterans today, right? We want to make sure that any of your questions are going to be answered, because the last year, if nothing else, it helped you to see that it's not good enough to just get a job, right? We can't just get good jobs. We have to build businesses in order to leave a legacy behind. So when I think of the first question, for me, the first question is, when did you know that it was meant for you to be an entrepreneur? And anybody can chime in and answer that question, because I think you have that moment, right, where you like, listen, this ain't it. I can't work for nobody else.
That's right.
I got to go and get it for myself. Who wants to?
I'll start. So I think for me, actually, I never thought about being an entrepreneur. I was a person so my background is in IT, and I worked for IBM, but I got laid off when Y2K, I'm telling you guys.
Like, you got some millennials that are like, Y2K, what is that?
When Y2K hit, and at that time I was actually in my 3rd trimester of being pregnant, a newlywed, and I made a decision at that moment to take some time, pause, try to figure it out. And what I realized was I wanted to spend more time with my daughter and be a wife, which was something, if anybody that know me know that's like, it's 2 extremes. But what I discovered was spending that time, I never wanted to give that much time that I was giving to them back to a corporate job. I did go back to corporate for about 3 years, and what I discovered then was, yeah, this isn't for me. Money is great. It answers a lot of things, but it does not give you true happiness if you're not, if you can't use it the way that you want to use it. To get up and punch a clock from 8 to 5. And it's not to knock a corporate job, because corporate jobs have their place, right? But for me, I was like, I can't be creative. It was limiting me, and I knew that there was more inside of me that I needed to get out. And so I just really, for me, the light went on out of a conversation with someone that simply said to me, Tara, you should sell your desserts. And I thought that was the craziest thing that anybody could really say to me, because I grew up in a family that cooked from scratch. I thought this is what all people do, right? And I learned, right, that no, people really don't do this, right? So I really just used all my skill sets and I built that business in like 30 days. That's how determined I was. But I'm a person that once I put my mind to something, there's no turning, but there's no B plan. It's all or nothing. And you know, since 2009, I have not looked back and started another business. So it was probably, I would say, the best decision I could have made.
Awesome.
I remember being in a Panera, and you were just getting ready to start, or maybe you had just launched, but she said, you know, I have this dream of being an owner of a bakery, a brick and mortar bakery. And I remember thinking, she's going to do it. I could see the fire in her eyes, and I could just see it. And it's just so exciting to be here in your space and to see how you've grown through the years, and it's just awesome. So I think that there's just something in an entrepreneur that there's that fire, that there's something more. Mm-hmm. And that's not, like you said, there's a place for, I think everyone is blended in a certain way that you have a certain gift to bring forth, and there is a fire inside of you that you just can't ignore. And I remember, because my parents, they were like, okay, you work for a job, you retire from that job, and you're set, you have your retirement, you're all good to go, because they were raised by those who went through the Depression, and you know, that's the way that they were raised. And so my mom was terrified when I told her I wanted to start my own business. But I was working for a publication, right out of college, was working for a publication in Philadelphia, and I just met who I'm now married to right before I moved up there. And so we had, from the get-go, a long-distance relationship. And on those long drives back and forth, I kept thinking, what's going to get me back? What's going to get me back? And I had started a publication for this publishing house up there, and I'm thinking, if I started it for someone else and I saw how it grew, and I wasn't making any more as it grew, I'm thinking, why can't I start something for myself back where I want to be? And I'm inconveniencing my life for these people that aren't bettering my life.
Right.
The more I increase the revenue and the
And they'll
exposure
post
to
your job the day you die.
Yes,
right?
and they don't care. And I think you realize I'm pouring so much more than just a 9-to-5. It's my mental, like my wheels were just always turning. And it's like, if I'm going to do that, if I'm made to do that, I want to do it for myself.
Absolutely.
So I think that that's really when the light switch flipped for me, that I'm like, I got to do this for myself. And ever since then, you start to realize your network, and you have so many people that are so talented around you, and they're so willing to help you. And you realize, I've got everything I need right here.
To make this happen for me, as opposed to making it happen for them.
Right.
Kenny, do you want to chime in on that question?
Sure. So for me, it was in 2003. It was actually the same year that I met Toyia. I was the national sales manager of Pringles at Procter & Gamble. I was running Pringles P&G salted snacks business, and it was $1 billion business. I had over 100 employees, and my oldest daughter died. My oldest daughter, me holding her, sitting on the side of my bed, I watched her face turn purple and stop breathing. And so she had been sick. And so there was a big deal that we had consummated at Walmart, who was our biggest customer. So I flew on the P&G corporate jet to Bentonville, Arkansas, and under a lot of pressure and duress from P&G. And I got back to Ohio.
Take your time.
Excuse me. I got back to Ohio at 6 o'clock. My daughter died at 8 o'clock. And
Talk about perspective.
a few months later, my mom died suddenly. And then a few months after that, my father went to prison. And so I knew then, I was at a corner office at P&G, and I would tell my secretary, block my calendar for the next 90 minutes. I'd walk to the Justice Center and scream at my dad on a phone behind a plexiglass window. I remember punching the plexiglass window. I was so angry at him, and I was still mourning. And I knew right then that I wasn't nobody's employee. I knew right then and there that I got to figure it out. I started praying about it. I had no idea what I was going to do. And I ended up applying to be a Chick-fil-A franchisee. In the year that I applied, they had 30,000 applications and they took 20 people.
Wow.
And so it was a heavily vetted opportunity. I got in it and immediately hated it.
I remember I saw Kenny and I said, how's the chicken business? He said, it ain't.
Chick-fil-A, and so what I discovered, that's their brand. They built it. It wasn't Kenny Filet, it was Chick-fil-A.
Right.
And people look at that as something prestigious, and it is a great company. And I've got tons of Chick-fil-A clients right now. Not tons, I probably got 8. And the one that makes the least amount of money makes about $700,000 a year. That's the one that makes the least. So it's extremely lucrative, but Chick-fil-A is not a progressive company. They've gotten a lot better with opportunities for women and minorities, but it wasn't for me. I was still an employee. I had the contract that I signed was 127 pages. And so my attorney looked at that thing for a week. And so they could terminate me if they wanted to. I was an employee. And so I went back on the search of, what can be my business? And I'm in a business right now where in the next 5 years, I expect to be making $1 million a year residual income while I sleep. And so it is, I know that I'm having a profound generational impact on the lives of people, sharing things about money and finances that they never knew existed. And I get a great deal of pleasure from that, more than I ever got from selling a chicken sandwich and more than I ever got from selling potato chips.
Absolutely. So I can't have all you guys answer the next question, but I want to know, is there anyone that feels like if you had it to do over, you would change anything? Is there anything that you would change?
I'll sit this one out.
I wouldn't change it and it's simple for me. The process, most people don't like to go through the process, but the process is what makes you.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you who you are, and it's hard, but I've learned so much about myself as a woman, as a business owner, and more importantly, the impact and the imprint that I want to leave on this side of the earth.
Mm-hmm. So you wouldn't change a thing. Amy, anything you would change?
I don't think I'd change anything. I think I've definitely learned a lot. I think that if I were to talk to my former self, I would, because you're just so hungry for people to help you when you're first getting started. And, those are people who are representing you and the brand that you've built. So just be really thoughtful about who you partner to help expand, because that's a huge indicator of the health of your business, the people that you bring on to build that brand outside of just you. So I think I would just talk to my former self about not just being so hungry to help it grow and have people on board, just really be thoughtful about who you bring on board to represent you when you can't be there yourself. So once I got a hang of that, then everything was golden. So
I would agree. I would agree. I've had my share of partners. All right. So the next question is, what was your biggest lesson learned? So when you think back and you're kind of going along your entrepreneurial journey, what did you learn, and what would you impart upon a new generation of entrepreneurs that, hey, this is what I learned, and hopefully you can learn it through me vicariously as opposed to having to live through it?
Oh, go ahead, Terry.
Oh my gosh. It's not one thing. I would just say it's hard. Like, it's real hard. And you have to stay focused. I think a lot of times entrepreneurs aren't focused. They're not willing to persevere. past all the obstacles that you're faced with, and you have to know that you know that you know that this is what you're supposed to be doing. Because if you don't be your biggest cheerleader, the energy, people can feel that. So I would say that part. It's, you know,
Stay focused.
you gotta stay like laser focused. I could count my friends on one hand. Like, that's how focused I am, because I feel like if I get sidetracked, or if you start to feed into all these things that are coming at you, you're not gonna make it. So,
Right. It's like, squirrel,
yeah.
I want to do this today. I'm going to do
Yeah.
that. Like, no. I'm going to need you to stay here. So this next question is around the PPP loans. We've all, seen it. We've seen all the controversy around it. You've seen people like they going to jail. Like, these people are going to jail. They know they didn't have a business, or they didn't have employees, or whatever the case may be. Is there any insight, and I'm going to pose this one to Kenny specifically, that we can give to keep people out of jail? Because I think there's a place for the PPP loan, but people need to make sure they're following the guidelines for the loan, because we're coming up on the second round of this pandemic. So there's going to be more PPP loans that are going to come out.
I can't wait.
So Kenny, can you impart some knowledge as it relates to the PPP loan and how to keep these people out of jail?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a quick answer. Just have a business. If you have a business, you can get a PPP loan. If you don't have a business, you can't. Like, there's no magical.
Oh, they can. They can.
They can.
They can, and they have.
Yeah. So,
But
yeah,
you shouldn't,
so
right?
if you're a dishonest person and you're looking for a way to get money that you don't deserve, and you're either unemployed or you're a W-2 employee, and you apply with a fictitious business, and they find you out, you're going to jail. But you knew that when you applied. And if you're like, these ladies and Toyia and others that are entrepreneurs, and you apply, there's money to help you. So my revenue was up in 2020 33%. My business has grown double digits for 8 consecutive years. And so the PPP was designed for people who had employees and needed money to pay their employees during the pandemic. But all you had to do was have a business. They didn't ask me if my business was up or down or whatever. That's right. And so I took that money and I invested in my business, and I'm taking my team to Cabo. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to be able to document the money that I spent paying salary. So it's simple as that.
You got application?
I am hiring. I'm straight up looking for somebody. I'm looking for an executive assistant right now, because my executive assistant had to quit because she has 2 special needs kids, and they were home during COVID. And so she was trying to work from home. I was like, Tamara, she's like, I know this ain't working. I said, this ain't working. And so I am looking for somebody.
All right, so we're going to put it out. He's looking for somebody.
And we going to Cabo. We going to Cabo.
And they going to Cabo.
You got to be double vaccinated and have a passport.
And so in closing on the panel side, are there resources or information that you would like to impart upon the audience as they think about starting a business, as they think about building a business? I'm going to give each one of you guys a minute or two to give perspective on resources that you would recommend.
You want to start?
It doesn't matter.
Oh gosh. Well, I know this sounds like a little too simple, but LinkedIn, the pro version, it actually has a ton of resources and online classes. I learned how to do video editing, Final Cut Pro, Photoshop, all these things. I was just looking to build skills over the pandemic, and I now have a ton of additional skills that now, if I need to do a quick little thing, I don't need to farm that out. I'm now able to just keep that all in-house, which when you're starting a business, every dollar you're not having to pay to somebody else, you're actually getting to keep. So I love LinkedIn Pro, that's a huge resource. The SBA, there's just a ton of resources out there. But that one's simple that you can do from home, especially if you're getting something started while you're working somewhere else. You can get it on your own schedule. And just to kind of like go back to the other question too, I do want to impart one other like little bit of learning. Don't be afraid to evolve. We were kind of all talking about this prior to the panel. As an entrepreneur, you start something, you pour yourself into it, but then you get called to maybe do something next, your next chapter. And don't be afraid to take that on. You won't lose all those skills, all those connections, and all those things you poured in. You can move on to that next chapter, and a lot of that comes with you. So that's just one thing that I wanted to share. Don't be afraid to evolve and to transform, and worry that some of those things that you worked so hard for won't come with you, because they will.
Absolutely. Taryn?
So I'm a teacher at heart. I would say for anybody who's starting out that need to and can't go back to school to participate in, and I can't even think of the name of it. It's like an incubator, like Mortar, Cincinnati.
Centrifuge.
Yeah, Centrifuge. So there's others out there specific to certain businesses. But it's a great way to, I call it getting a 2-year degree in like 13 weeks. Because it teaches you every facet of the business. And it's reasonably priced. You get a mentor, like all the things that you need to really help you on that journey. So that would probably be my number one thing. And I also am part of their program and teach some of their classes. So yeah, and ABA as well. So that would be my biggest probably thing to impart, because from that you'll gain a lot of connections and network and all of the pieces of the puzzle that you need.
Yeah. I would say the number one resource that you're going to have to access, and it comes to mind one of my favorite Denzel Washington quotes. He said, when a bird is sitting on a branch, the bird is not afraid of the branch breaking, because the bird's faith is in its wings, not the branch.
Sorry.
The number one resource is you.
Yeah.
And so for me, it took me 20 years to believe in myself. My whole identity was tied into being a P&G executive. And then I discovered that I'm brilliant. I am. I had a mentor that told me I was brilliant. I didn't believe it. I took the Mensa test. Who knows what Mensa is? Google it. It's a society of geniuses. I took the Mensa test and passed it. I'm a member of Mensa. I'm a genius.
Like seriously, literally.
Literally. There's people.
I'm not going to take the test because I don't want you showing me up.
There are people in here that are brilliant, but you don't believe it.
Yeah. That's true.
You don't believe it.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm not being arrogant. I'm brilliant.
Right.
I built something that didn't exist before. I'm having a generational impact on people's lives, and I'm making a shitload of money. I'm sorry, I'm making money. And so believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. You don't need no W-2 job. There's nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't be in business if people didn't have W-2 jobs. But you can do it. Mm-hmm. You can do it. I know you can.
Just got to find your wings.
If somebody who grew up in the projects in Hamilton, Ohio can do it, you can do it.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So I think we have a mic where we can take some questions and comments from the audience. I know we have a couple of expert entrepreneurs in the audience if y'all want to impart knowledge, or if anyone has questions that they think will be impactful for the audience to hear. And introduce yourself so that way people know who you are.
Okay. Hi, my name is Manny Adam. I'm originally from Ghana, West Africa. That's why accent comes investigation. So I own a small skincare line. I have some free products. I started sharing before I was called them. So I share it to you to get that one. I don't have as much experience as these veterans do, but I've grown my business in the last 3 years. When we moved from 5 stores to almost 3,000 stores in the United States. We're in 1,300 Kroger stores. We're in Target and we're in Walmart. So I think I have a little bit of experience that I would like to share. So one of the things that the lady in the middle, I don't remember her name, said was
Taryn.
Tara said was
Taryn.
oh, Terry.
It's like Karen with a T. Remember that, bro.
Got to.
You're going to know.
Perseverance and focus. I mean, you gotta be 1,000%. It's an extremely difficult journey. You cannot afford to have any distractions.
That's right.
So for me, usually, like I say, I speak sometimes to speaking at the program organized by PNG more than 2 weeks from now. And usually people ask me, well, how did you do it? Or what do you have to say to people? I say, perseverance, perseverance, perseverance.
Does anyone else have a question or want to make a comment? We have somebody right behind you. Make sure you introduce yourself. This is the last.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, my name is Jose Stanford, 24. I'm an entrepreneur as well. My question is this: one thing I'm going through is like, how do you manage relationships, like, relationships with kids? I know it's difficult, but like, say you have a spouse or something like that, how do you balance that in your business? Like,
She hired her husband. I'm going to
Hide your wife, hide your kids.
let them know. Let them know.
He is. He said, I did. I can pay my husband. He gets a check. That is so, and when I tell you that's so gratifying because he paid his dues with me. But I have a very supportive husband. If you see me, generally you will see him. The only reason why he's not here tonight is I let him off the hook so he can go to the gym. But normally we're in sync, 22 years strong, in sync. And so you do have to figure out that balance. So I consider myself very blessed and fortunate. There's nothing that he won't do for me. So he's on this journey with me. So you have to really figure that out and try and, because there's a lot of relationships out here where people just aren't in sync, and that's tough. Because your biggest support system are the people that's closest, typically are the people that's closest to you. And when that isn't in sync, man, that's rough. I mean, it can be tough, but it can be worked through. It just depends on how you guys are going to work through it. So I can't speak to the other side of it because my husband's crazy and he just rides with me hard.
okay, yeah, that's really.
So get you a partner,
Yeah.
not somebody that's just gonna be dead weight.
Amy has a partner or a husband too that has been riding along
Yeah.
for a long time. So,
Yeah, I think, I always kind of saw personal and professional life, like it's all one, and I know your husband, he's right there with you, and my husband would always be at events and he would be out, promoting events and, just out there pounding the pavement with me, and we got to do that together because he knew that it was something that I was passionate about and I just felt that pull towards, and there was no not doing it, and it was just part of my happiness. And I think, depending on the type of business, it's something that you can do together and grow together and spend time together. You don't have to separate the personal and the professional side. Involve them, and because it's something that makes you happy, and the more that they learn about it and the more they can be a part of it, they feel like they're part of something that makes you happy, which any partner wants to see, and so I think that trying not to see it as like two segmented parts of your life, that it's all one, and involving them in any way that you can will help.
Thank you for the question. Anyone else from the audience have a question or a comment?
My name is Dwight Price. I'm one of the 38 Good Brothers. That's the name of one of the name of brothers companies. I want to say I love everything that the town said. Mr. What's your name again?
Kenny Wilson.
Kenny Wilson. Mr. Wilson. We just had a Build Wealth conference, and the things you said up there, I really wish I heard of you before then, because I would have liked you to be a speaker.
Okay.
So I'd like to get your information, because the story, sounds amazing.
Absolutely. Thank you.
The conference that we had, you mentioned that Build Wealth on the top. So the conference that we had, we was reaching out to, we had some speakers coming in town, we was reaching out to people that come from, where we come from. Like you said, we come from, Compton. We come from the streets, but, we happen to go to prison and stuff like that, so we came out.
But y'all been in the gym since you got out, though, right? Y'all been in the gym.
So,
Got the medium shirts on.
So we got a pretty rough background, but, we've been out there trying to work with people who come from the East, we come from the zone. There is another way, so I appreciate Toyia for inviting us.
Okay, 25.
Other people on the stage, I like what y'all said, I like some people that got to find us at 38 Good Brothers on Instagram. Follow us, and we will be having more interaction with, people are, younger, I'm gonna say our age, younger. Just tell them what things to do for building credit, get business funding, real estate. That's what we specialize in, real estate. So I want to say thank you, Toyia.
Appreciate the affirmation. Hey, Toyia, can I say something real quick?
Sure.
So, everybody in here got how many biological parents? This ain't no trick question. 2. You got 2 biological parents. You got 4 biological grandparents. You got 8 biological great-grandparents. Of your 8 biological great-grandparents, how many do you know their first and last name of the 8? So for the average African-American family, they don't know more than 1. And so your family is going to forget you in 2 generations. Everything you've done, you want to pass the baton of faith or education or your values or Afrocentricity, whatever's important to you, unless you are intentional about building a legacy, they're going to forget your life. And so most of us started our lives with nothing. And so whatever you could create, once you launch, that's all you got. That ain't gonna be my kid's testimony. And so that ain't gonna be the Kennebrew's testimony. Mm-hmm. That's not gonna be Toyia's daughter's testimony. And so, but there has to be a plan. You can accomplish anything with a plan. I applied for life insurance about 15 years ago and got declined because I was fat. And they said, you're gonna die. You uninsurable. I lost 70 pounds. But it was difficult. There were nights that I went to bed hungry. One of the toughest things to do is go to sleep hungry. But I did it because I wanted to be healthy. And it's the same way with starting a business. You have to have a plan. I want to encourage everybody in this room to think about what's your legacy. If you haven't done estate planning, I have a Ken Wilson Family Trust. That if I walk out there and get hit by a truck, everybody know when they gonna get the money, how much, what it gonna be used for, and what's going where. It ain't gonna be no probate court. Because I've got a legacy plan, and that's what I want everybody to think about.
So important. Absolutely so important. Anybody else from the audience have any parting words or want to ask any questions?
Thank you. So here's my question. So
Introduce yourself first.
My name is Malala. I'm a W-2 employee. But here's the kicker.
Ain't no shame in that.
With a great organization.
Yeah, and so that's the kicker. So it's like a double. So I love my job, and I love my company.
There you go.
Right? And so there's great benefits. But on the flip side of it, and this has been my struggle as of late, so I also have recently learned my value.
Right.
And so I'm telling him, like, we need to talk. Because I know my value, but I can say, once I have an idea or once I'm doing something, all my passion goes into it, but all my passion is going into corporate America. For the security that they offer, the pension, the benefits, all, the 401k.
All good stuff.
The golden handcuffs.
And it's, and right, so also have the best way to buy the business, right? And then, seeing you guys, women and people of color. So what happens when you're comfortable because of the golden handcuffs and the benefits?
Yeah, nobody can define your happiness.
Yeah.
You sound happy. So don't get caught up in trying to be something that you're not. You know what I'm saying? This.
It's a struggle.
I've gone months without getting paid. Months. I've paid my employees and didn't get paid. Tell them. Everybody ain't built for that. So the majority of people, 90+% of people, are built for the security of being a W-2 employee. Ain't no shame in that. That's a beautiful thing. And if you can find something that you believe in, that you enjoy, that they support you, they value you, you believe in the company, praise God. Like, do your thing, girl.
And you can still leave a legacy. You can still leave a legacy as a W-2 employee. It's just a matter of strategizing to leave that legacy that you see, leaving left behind. I know we just lost a friend, a close friend, and I look back and I don't want to be that person where I look back and I die tomorrow and there's not something that you can say, wow, Toyia left this on the earth, right? Toyia made this the difference for whatever that thing might be. So just really kind of search within yourself to find out what is that legacy that you want to leave. It may not be a business, right? It may be a scholarship fund. It may be leaving a house for Brendan to, start his own business. You have to figure that out for yourself. But I think there's still a legacy that could be left that doesn't have to do with entrepreneurship. So thank you for your question. And so I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment to acknowledge this wonderful person that has stepped up to help make the Plug with Toyia T everything that it has become for the last year. It is not Kenny. He did not send me his writer. But I want to acknowledge to Michael Bobo, who is the producer of The Plug with Toyia T. I want to acknowledge her as the producer of the year. She did not know this was coming, and she's probably ready to kill me. But when I say that, everybody was talking about partners and people that you sign up for, I feel like it's so important that you identify people that are going to be a part of your toolbox, right? Because you have to have people that you trust, and you have to have people that trust you. And in order to do that, you really have to know the people, and you have to get to a place where you are in sync. And when I say that Michael is dedicated, she does nothing but perfection when it comes to her producing capabilities. She and I met years ago, and we were like, we got to do something together. And at first we were going to do a PR campaign for Black men, because we were like, listen, they can't keep dying. This is not going to work. And we worked out a little script and everything. And then time went by, and it was like, that ain't it. We got to do something else. We got to figure out what it is. And it finally came to be that we were going to do The Plug with Toyia T, and she helped produce it. She also led the production of Kindred Souls. This is our other show that's going to be coming out here soon. So I just want to invite Michael up here. I know she don't want to come up here, but she gonna come and accept this.
Get on up here, girl.
Listen. And it's beautiful. It was made by, yes, isn't it pretty? You want to say anything?
No, I don't.
She doesn't want to say
I don't
anything.
want to be on camera right now. I go on production clothes, so we don't do this normally. I love you.
I love you too.
We made it. It's a year anniversary. So I thank all you guys for being with us today because we've never done, because of COVID, we didn't do in-person shoots. This is our very first in-person.
Yes.
So we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for being in our audience. Thank you for being our panelists. And you the bomb down.
Yay. I love you too.
I'm gonna kill you.
So with that, I don't know how we are on timing, but I think that it's time to pay some sponsors. All right. Last words. Any information you want to leave for the audience that might be chiming in, how they can reach you, if there's a website, anything like that?
Well, I would say, when I was thinking of starting the business, I was thinking, I need more capital or I need more experience. Life doesn't get easier, your plate just gets more full, and just start now. That's probably my biggest piece of advice. Start now, little steps, grow, and you just have to get that momentum started, and you have a lot more capability than you give yourself credit for. So,
and if they want to reach you, Amy, what's the best way to reach you?
So my website is amyscalia.com. The business and foundation that my husband and I recently started is PS Never Give Up. And there's a whole online shop. We're going to be starting events. And the nonprofit side is helping those with chronic illnesses who are seeking fertility treatments, kind of the journey that my husband and I went through the past several years to start our family, and we're now making that path a little bit smoother for others. So check
That's
it out.
awesome.
Yeah.
How can you reach me? Come to the coffee shop.
That's what's up.
Right. Give them the address, Taryn. Give them the address.
So the address is 3546 Montgomery Road. We are 1 block from Xavier University. And Cream and Sugar Coffee House. And I am so honored that you chose this place.
This venue.
That's dope. So we take care of our people here. We got cool vibes, good food, and our food is meant to give you good, healthy eating habits. So we care about Black people. We know what causes high blood pressure and high cholesterol. So when you come here, you get good plant-based food. It's good for your soul, but it also tastes good. So, and we mean it.
Right.
And our staff is the bomb.
Yes.
My husband just came in. So that's my other half. So for the young man, you can talk to him. So he will mimic what I said.
And the parfait is amazing, and the chai tea was to die for, just so you know.
I would just say final words. I can't stress it enough. I said it earlier, Kenny said it again. You have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to believe in yourself. Nobody can give that to you. And if God gave it to you, you better not sit on it, because he gave it to you for a reason. Mm-hmm. He gave it to you, and somebody's waiting on you to get it. So they're waiting on you to put it out there. So everything that you need, just know that you have it already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll just close by saying that living your best life has nothing to do with social media.
No, it doesn't.
And so sitting on a beach that you got there by putting that on a credit card, you lose it. I had a woman sitting in my office, 40 years old, had a 10-year-old son. She had a $5,000 Louis Vuitton bag and hadn't put a dime in her son's college education, hadn't saved one dime. I told her, you're losing. You're losing, boo. And so particularly as Black folks, that we have to overcome whatever it is inside of us that makes us spend money to try to build our self-worth. Mm-hmm. We have to save. We have to contribute to our 401k. We got to have life insurance. You have to have a fund that you use for investing. And I invest in everything. I invest in real estate. I invest in crypto. I invest in stocks and bonds. But there's different buckets where you can put money. Some is qualified, which means that you get tax benefits. Some is non-qualified, that the gains are taxable, but it's primarily capital gains, which is taxed at a lower rate than regular income tax. And so those are the things that I help people think about, and particularly business owners, because we neglect ourselves. You know, business owners, they don't have their income insured, that if you get sick or injured and can't work, is this shop gonna run the same if ain't either one of y'all in here? It's probably still be open. But you need to have your income insured, just like you have your house and your car insured. And these are the things that I talk to people about. And so if you want to follow up with me, I guess the easiest way would be to follow me on Instagram. And my Instagram is _Wilson Financial. _Wilson Financial.
Thank you guys for that. Thank you all for being here tonight. We appreciate your patience. We appreciate you guys working through the kinks with us. We want to make sure that you network through the app or in person, whatever makes the most sense. And with that, we're going to go ahead and pay some sponsors. Today's episode of The Plug is sponsored by the following companies. Our gold level sponsors include ESG. ESG is a solutions provider that works to reduce your procurement costs while diversifying your sourcing options. For more information, visit them online at www.esgconsultingllc.com. Silver level sponsors include First Generation Entrepreneurs. First Generation Entrepreneurs helps individuals, small business owners, and nonprofits get established by walking them through the process of choosing their structure, developing their business model, and helping them build their business plan brick by brick. Need a business plan? Text B-PLAN to 859-363-6089. Learning and Lollipops. Learning and Lollipops is an SUTQ-rated early childhood education center. They service infants to 5 years of age. They provide quality care in a healthy, safe environment. They are located in the Bond Hill area. Private pay and vouchers are accepted. Follow them on Instagram at Learning and Lollipops or call 513-242-4222 for more information. Royal Treatment by Renita is an eyelash extension application business that specializes in maintaining the health of your natural lashes. They focus on ensuring you achieve a look that keeps your confidence at its highest. They also offer brow shape-ups and henna brow application. They are located in the Fairfield Township area and are accepting new clients. They look forward to providing you the Royal Treatment. Follow them on Instagram at Royal Treatment 16. Fly for the Low will serve the community by educating men, more specifically urban youth, on how to dress for any occasion affordably. Their mission is to teach men how to enhance their personal style while maximizing their wardrobe potential affordably. They will show men how to shop for versatile, classic, and timeless staple pieces that they can mix and match so that they are ready for any situation that arises. Follow them on Instagram at fly_for_the_low. Change your mindset and conquer your personal, professional, or organizational goals with Elevate Coaching and Consulting. Contact Ronique for a free 30-minute consultation by emailing her at roniquedsmith@gmail.com. Again, that's roniquesmith@gmail.com. And last but certainly not least, Donnie Young, an ADT authorized provider, supplying you with all of your security needs for your home, business, and beyond. For more details, call Donnie at 513-623-0679. The Plug thanks all of our sponsors for helping us keep you connected.